Hello all, hope you're doing well today. Today we are continuing our conversation in chapter 10. This is part 2. We're talking about regulation of body weight and composition. Here we go. The appestat is the brain's regulatory center for appetite control, comprising two main components, the hunger center and the satiety center. These centers respond to various afferent stimuli that influence hunger and satiety signals. The afferent stimuli influencing the appestat, and so that's made up of the senses, the visual, olfactory, and taste stimuli that can trigger or suppress the appetite. The stomach's fullness. You have stretch receptors in the stomach that signal the brain about the degree of fullness. And the blood nutrient levels. This is looking at glucostat, which monitors glucose levels, lipostat, which monitors fatty acid levels, and aminostat, which monitors amino acid levels, and body temperature. These are variations in body temperature that can affect our energy intake. Various hormones and neurotransmitters play roles in hunger and satiety regulation, such as ghrelin, which is a hunger hormone, and leptin, which is a satiety hormone. Basal energy expenditure, or BEE, refers to the amount of energy expended while at rest in a neutrally temperate environment, and the post-absorptive state, when the digestive system is inactive. We have a brown adipose tissue, or BAT, if you will, as a type of fat tissue that is highly active metabolically. It generates heat through the process of non-shivering thermogenesis. And then we have uncoupling proteins. These are found in the mitochondria of the brown adipose tissue. They play a crucial role in thermogenesis by uncoupling oxidation from ATP formation, allowing energy to be dissipated as heat instead of being stored as ATP. And then we have white fat tissue and muscle tissue. So the white fat tissue primarily stores energy as fat, whereas muscle tissue is involved in movement and metabolic processes. Both tissue types contain uncoupling proteins, but they are more prominent and active in the brown adipose tissue. Uncoupling proteins are a family of mitochondrial transport proteins that regulate the efficiency of oxidative phosphorylation. By uncoupling the electron transport chain from ATP synthesis, they increase heat production and energy expenditure. Now, our thyroids are a part of influencing energy expenditure. Primarily the thyroid hormones, thyroxine T4 and triiodothyronine T3, which increases metabolic rate and promote thermogenesis. Epinephrine or adrenaline stimulates glycogen breakdown and lipolysis, increasing energy availability and expenditure. Now, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, or NEAT, encompasses all physical activity except sleeping, exercise, and eating. This includes activities like fidgeting, walking, or performing daily tasks, and maintaining posture, contributing to significantly to our daily energy expenditure. Exercise can promote the transformation of white adipose tissue, or WAT, into brown-like adipose tissue. It's a process known as browning. This involves the development of beige or bright or brown and white adipocytes within white fat depots, which exhibit properties similar to brown adipose tissue. Here's how the process works. The mechanism of browning, it includes increased mitochondrial biogenesis. So exercise stimulates the production of mitochondria within white adipocytes, enhancing their capacity for thermogenesis. The activation of PGC1 alpha. This exercise induces the expression of peroxisome proliferatory mTOR activated receptor gamma coactivator 1 alpha, which is a mouthful, which is a key regulator of mitochondrial biogenesis and energy metabolism. The hormone influence, one of the hormones is irisin, which is a hormone released during exercise that promotes browning by converting white fat cells into beige fat cells. And fibroblast growth factor 21, another hormone that stimulates the browning process. The benefits of browning are, of course, increased energy expenditure. Beige fat cells, like brown fat cells, burn calories to produce heat, thereby increasing overall energy expenditure. There's improved metabolic health. Browning of the white fat is associated with improved insulin sensitivity and reduced inflammation and a lower risk of obesity-related diseases. So, in conclusion, exercise not only helps in burning calories during the activity, but also promotes long-term metabolic benefits by inducing the browning of the white adipose tissue. This adaptive response enhances the body's ability to regulate energy balance and maintain metabolic health. The regulation of energy intake and expenditure involves several short-term mechanisms that either increase or decrease food intake based on immediate physiological needs and signals. The short-term mechanisms influencing food intake are based upon stomach expansion or contraction. So when the stomach is full, stretch receptors send signals to the brain to reduce the appetite and cause expansion. And when the stomach is empty, the absence of those stretch signals can increase hunger, causing contraction. Now, there are also peptides and hormones that are affected as well. Cholecystokinin, or CCK, which is released in response to food in the intestines, helps to promote satiety and reduce food intake, while pancreatic glucagon helps signal satiety and reduce hunger after eating. Ovastatin is a hormone that helps to decrease appetite. And amylin is co-secreted with insulin, helps to slow gastric emptying and promote satiety. Ghrelin, again, which is known as the hunger hormone, is produced in the stomach and stimulates appetite, especially before meals. Now, there are changes in blood nutrient levels that affect the energy intake as well. The blood glucose levels, which is a drop in blood glucose, can signal the need for food intake, while high levels can promote satiety. Amino acids, when there are fluctuations in blood amino acid levels, it can help to regulate protein and intake and to some extent carbohydrate intake. So the body uses a complex system of feedback mechanisms to regulate energy intake and expenditure, ensuring that nutritional needs are met and energy balance is maintained. These short-term controls are essential for responding to immediate changes in the body's energy status and maintaining overall metabolic health. It is deposited in the body through two primary processes involving adipose cells or fat cells, and that's by hyperplasia or hypertrophy. Now, the hyperplasia of adipose tissue cells is basically an increase in the number of adipose cells. So it's the process that involves the creation of new fat cells. And that's really important in childhood obesity. Hyperplasia is particularly significant during childhood, contributing to the development of obesity if excess fat cells are formed early in life. And while most hyperplasia happens in childhood, it can continue to occur throughout life, especially when existing fat cells reach their capacity. Now, if we talk about hypertrophy of adipose cells, there's an increase in the amount of fat per adipose cell. So hypertrophy refers to the enlargement of the existing fat cells as they store more fat. In adulthood, obesity is primarily due to hypertrophy, where fat cells expand to store more fat. The maximum amount of fat that can be stored in an adipocyte is approximately 1 microgram per cell. There may be a genetic predisposition that leads to having a higher number of adipose cells, which can influence an individual's propensity to gain weight and store fat. So fat deposition involves both an increase in the number of fat cells, which is hyperplasia, and an increase in the size of the fat cells, which is hypertrophy. While hyperplasia is crucial during childhood and can occur throughout life, hypertrophy is the main factor contributing to obesity in adults. Genetic factors can also play a role in determining the number of adipose cells in an individual. It plays a significant role in the development of obesity. Both genetic and epigenetic factors contribute to an individual's susceptibility to gaining excess weight. The genetic factors, there have been twin studies where they've done research involving identical and fraternal twins that have shown that genetics significantly influences body composition and the likelihood of obesity. They've also had adoption studies that indicate that the body composition of children is more closely related to their biological parents than their adoptive parents, underscoring the genetic component of obesity. And then the theory of obesity genes. The human obesity gene map has identified over 370 genes associated with obesity. These genes can influence various aspects of metabolism and energy balance. Some specific genetic influences are the neural function abnormalities. So some genetic abnormalities can lead to increased energy intake by affecting neural pathways, which are challenging to alter. The genetic factors that can lead to a decreased number of protein receptors for leptin, resulting in leptin resistance. When leptin signaling is impaired, neuropeptide Y continues to stimulate appetite despite adequate or excessive energy stores. The fat mass and obesity associated gene, there are variants of that fat obesity associated gene, or FTO, that are linked to increased energy intake, often leading to higher caloric consumption. The FTO gene can also affect energy expenditure, influencing how efficiently the body uses energy. Factors play a significant role in the development of obesity. Here are some of the key aspects. The genetic variants. So several genes have been associated with obesity, including those involved in appetite regulation, metabolism, and fat storage. So the FTO, the fat mass and obesity associated genes. These are variants in the genes that have been linked to increased risk of obesity by influencing appetite and energy intake. The MC4R, or melanocortin 4 receptor, mutations in this gene are associated with severe obesity and affect appetite control and energy expenditure. And the LEP, which is leptin, or LEPR, which is the leptin receptor. These variants in these genes can affect leptin levels and signaling, impacting hunger and metabolism. The polygenic risk. Obesity is a polygenic trait, meaning that multiple genes contribute to its risk. Each gene may have a small effect, but their cumulative impact can be significant. Gene-environment interactions. So genetic predisposition to obesity can interact with environmental factors such as diet and physical activity. For example, individuals with certain genetic variants may be more susceptible to the effects of a high-calorie diet. And epigenetics. So epigenetic modifications can influence gene expression related to obesity without altering the DNA sequence itself. Environmental factors such as diet and stress can lead to epigenetic changes that affect obesity risks. And then the family and twin studies. The research shows that obesity tends to run in families. And twin studies have demonstrated that genetic factors account for a significant proportion of the variation in body weight and fat distribution. And you see there's a lot more to this, but again, this is the short version. Environmental factors significantly contribute to weight gain and obesity, often interacting with genetic and lifestyle factors to influence our overall health. So diet and food choices, the high fat and high sugar foods, foods that are rich in fats and sugars are typically high in calories or kcals, promoting weight gain. Low fat and large portion size foods, even foods marketed as low fat, can contribute to weight gain if they're consumed in large proportions, as they can still be high in calories. Liquid diet calories. Sugar-sweetened beverages such as sodas provide a significant amount of calories with little to no nutritional value, often leading to weight gain. And physical activity or inactivity. A sedentary lifestyle with minimal physical activity is a major contributor to weight gain. The non-exercise activity thermogenesis, or NEAT, includes all physical activities other than sleeping, eating, and planned exercise. So low NEAT levels can contribute to weight gain. And then other factors, such as sleep and emotional stress. Poor sleep and high levels of stress can disrupt our hormonal balance, leading to increased appetite and weight gain. And then our personal relationships, our social influences, including family and friends, can affect eating and activity habits, potentially leading to weight gain. And then drugs and environmental chemicals. So certain chemical medications and environmental pollutants can influence metabolism and appetite, contributing to weight gain. And viruses. Some research suggests that certain viral infections can affect body weight and fat storage. And the built environment. This is urban planning and infrastructure, such as availability of parks, sidewalks, and recreational facilities, can influence our physical activity levels and consequently weight management. And gut microbiota. The composition of gut bacteria can affect digestion, nutrition absorption, and energy balance, playing a role in weight gain and obesity. Genetics play a crucial role in determining an individual's predisposition to weight gain. They do not fully explain the rapid increase in obesity rates observed over the past 2 decades. Environmental factors, particularly lifestyle changes, are significantly more influential in this trend. The genetic factors, so a genetic predisposition, again, there are certain genes that can make individuals more susceptible to weight gain by affecting metabolism, appetite, and energy expenditure. The genetic makeup alone cannot account for the sharp rise in obesity rates, as the human gene pool has not changed drastically in such a short time. The environmental factors, the lifestyle changes, so our modern lifestyles have shifted toward increased consumption of high-calorie foods and reduced physical activity, both of which contribute significantly to weight gain. The examples of environmental influence, like the freshman 15, commonly cited as a significant weight gain during the first year of college. Studies suggest the average gain is closer to 7.5 pounds, highlighting lifestyle changes such as dietary habits, eating at Whataburger, and less physical activity. And creeping obesity. So small caloric surplus, consuming just 100 extra calories per day, can lead to a weight gain of approximately 10 pounds per year. There's a larger caloric surplus, so consuming an additional 200 calories per day can result in a weight gain of about 20 pounds per year. The concept of the set point refers to the idea that the body has a preferred weight range that it maintains through various physiological mechanisms. However, this set point can be influenced and altered by several factors. So leptin resistance, the genes may contribute to leptin resistance, which reduces the body's ability to regulate appetite and energy balance, leading to an increase in body weight to a new higher level. If we look at weight loss, there's a metabolic adjustment. So initially, resting metabolism decreases during weight loss, but it may return to normal levels over time, allowing the body to stabilize at a new, lower rate. And other models of energy intake and expenditure. The general model looks at uncompensated factors, such as social and environmental influences, and diet and physical activity, which are not regulated by the body's internal mechanisms. There are also compensated factors, the genetic and feedback control mechanisms that regulate energy intake and expenditure to maintain body weight. And then there's a dual intervention point model. So these are physiological control factors. These factors defend an upper threshold of weight or fat mass, preventing excessive weight gain. and of course environmental factors that favor weight gain or loss, creating a competition between the body's physiological controls and external influences. Prevention as a key to managing weight gain and obesity. So preventive measures are crucial in managing weight gain and preventing obesity. By addressing both genetic predispositions and environmental influences, it is possible to maintain a healthy weight and avoid the negative health outcomes associated with obesity. Prevention of childhood obesity is indeed a multifaceted challenge. Here's a deeper look into each of the points. Fat is easy to gain and hard to lose. The ease of gaining fat compared to the difficulty of losing it underscores the importance of early intervention. Once established, excess fat can be resistant to change due to metabolic and behavioral factors, making it crucial to adopt healthy habits early in life. The interactions between TV watching, diet quality, and physical inactivity. So television watching increased screen time has been linked to higher risk of childhood obesity. It often correlates with sedentary behavior and exposure to advertisements for unhealthy foods. Our diet quality, so poor dietary choices such as high intake of sugary and processed foods, can contribute to weight gain. Diet quality is often compromised when children consume excessive calories from low nutrient foods. A lack of physical inactivity is a significant risk factor for obesity. Screen time often displaces time that could be spent engaging in active play or exercise. And effectiveness of school-based programs. While many school-based programs aim to address childhood obesity through education and activities, research indicates that they have often been limited in their effectiveness in significantly altering BMI or skin fold thickness. Factors contributing to this may include lack of parental involvement, insufficient program duration, and limited scope of intervention. And then parental participation and peer influence. Parents play a critical role in shaping their children's eating habits, their physical activity levels, and overall lifestyle. Engaging parents in obesity prevention programs can lead to more sustainable changes. And peer influences. So children are influenced by their peers, making it important to incorporate peer support and group activities into prevention strategies. Positive peer interactions can encourage healthy behaviors and create a supportive environment for maintaining those behaviors.